You're listening to Vet Synapse, a podcast connecting the world of research, innovation, and practical help to the veterinary profession. I'm your host, Dr. Philip Judge from Vet Education. Let's get connected with Vet Synapse. Welcome everybody to another edition of Vet Synapse, where today we're going to be taking a look at a book. And the book we're looking at is this one here. It's the Colour Handbook of Infectious Diseases of the Dog and Cat. It's edited by Scott Wees and Michelle Everson. It's printed by CRC Press. It's a 2020 publication, so very recent. Now, the field of infectious diseases is huge, and there are some pretty voluminous tomes out there on the market. This book is considerably smaller, but I think it really adds something to the literature base that we have for clinically useful references. And I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why. The first is that this book is organized by organ system rather than by pathogen classification. For instance, in this book we have respiratory pathogens, gastrointestinal pathogens, neurological pathogens, and so on. And there's also a chapter on multi-system pathogens as well, to sort of cover those organisms that don't necessarily neatly categorize within a single organ system. And this is helpful because, let's say a patient presents to you with respiratory or gastrointestinal disease. By consulting the section in this book on infections of those organ systems, you will get, firstly, a broad range of differential diagnoses of organisms that may cause disease in a particular organ system. The information that is presented for each infectious organism follows a pretty standard pattern from disease definition, the causative organism, pathophysiology, pathology of disease, clinical signs, diagnosis, treatment, complications, and prognosis. And this is repeated right throughout the book, so it makes it really nice and consistent when you're referring to a particular organism. The text itself is relatively concise, and it presents the core information that is relevant to the management of infectious diseases in dogs and cats within the clinical setting without becoming encumbered by large amounts of small and fine detail. One of the other features in this book that is really helpful is the inclusion of large numbers of really high quality photographs. I'm going to show you a couple here, just in this image here. You can also see that there's a large number of tables presented throughout that cover everything from clinical signs to diagnostic tests, comparison of diagnostic tests, through to therapeutic options or antimicrobial agents and so on. I use this reference quite extensively in the preparation of material for the vet education course Infectious Diseases in Small Animal Practice, and I was really impressed with the quality, consistency, and depth of information contained within the book that really belies its pretty small size when compared to some larger references. So whilst it's not an exhaustive text, it is one of the most user-friendly texts on infectious diseases available. And both the authors, I think, and the publishers should be congratulated on their production of this reference. I think it's extremely useful for practitioners, interns, residents, and even those studying for veterinary board examinations as well. So that's what I had for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep tuned for more updates on Vet Synapse. Thank you for listening to this episode of Vet Synapse. If you like this episode, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to visit our website, veteducation.com.au, for more great content and to experience the latest online race-approved veterinary continuing education.